Hello, my name is Dwight, and I'm making a game. I've been fascinated by video games since I was 11, when I played my first game on an Apple II, Star Trek, and also Star Wars. Back then, the graphics were really primitive, basically a little bit better than ASCII graphics, but very low res. But I was still fascinated. Later, I discovered the Ultima series. I played Ultima 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then went to PC only. I didn't have a PC, so I kind of missed out on the best ones from what I've heard. Since then, I've watched games evolve into an amazing new art form, with stories as rich as a novel and experiences as immersive as a film. I love how I can explore a whole new world inside a game, go on adventures, and experience epic stories. I've loved games so much I've always wanted to make one. In fact, I tried several times. I started several game projects on my own, but I never completed one. I've also wanted to make my living making games, but I got distracted by being practical and ended up writing business software for a living for 30 years. Which is okay, but it's not my passion. It's not what I love, and I want to correct that. So I am making a game, and this time I am going to document the progress I make through these videos and through my website and social media, and I welcome you to join me. The game is going to be an open world role-playing game with a fantasy setting. It will be largely procedurally generated, although there will be structure to it, so it's not just going to be aimless hills and mountains forever. The game is called Akasha. You will play a character who wakes up in a fantastical fantasy world that's built from the thoughts and dreams of the collective unconscious. The game world will be procedurally generated, but there will be structure to it. There will be different biomes to explore, including forests and mountains, plains and deserts. You'll also have dungeons to explore. The dungeons will be procedurally generated, so they'll be different each time you go into them. But there'll also be structure to the overall story and to the overall land that you'll explore. This will certainly be a big game to make. It will take some time. And I know a lot of people would recommend you start simple for your first game, and I recommend that too. If you're thinking about making a game, start with something simple. Tic-tac-toe, text adventure maybe. But it needs to be big enough to inspire you. And unfortunately, I'm only inspired by really big ideas. And I love big games. I love open world games. And I've tried making some smaller games and I just ran out of inspiration. I know I can make this though. I've been a software engineer for 30 years. And there are so many tools available today that weren't available even 10 years ago and certainly 20 years ago. Game engines, asset stores, they make it possible for a single developer to make a big game if they are patient enough and persistent enough. This will not be a tutorial series. I'm just recording my progress and showing you how things evolve. But you may learn a thing or two along the way. And if you're interested in making your own game, I hope you draw inspiration from this. And I welcome questions. I'll be happy to give you advice and help you on your own journey. So let's start with the first step, which is creating the project. I'm using Unreal Engine 5, which comes with a number of templates for different types of games. So depending on what type of game you want to make, you can get a head start with the different templates. I'm using the third-person template since that's the type of game I'm making. Although I probably will eventually replace most of these components, it's still nice to have a head start. Unreal creates this example level Now, the first thing you want to do once you get your project building is to check it into version control. That makes correcting mistakes so much easier. I don't know how many times I've been working on a project and things just started working incorrectly, and I had no idea why. With version control, you can look at what you changed and maybe see the error there. And if you can't figure that out, you can just throw away every change you've made most recently. And if you check in frequently, that's not a problem. So it can be a big lifesaver. And this is the game running. Of course, the game I make is going to look totally different than this, but it's really nice to have something to start with. And it's really nice that Unreal provides a third-person controller. Other game engines, you have to create your own or use one that someone else has created. Now, the final step I want to do in this video is to actually build the game completely and make sure it runs. That first part of the video, I was running it in the editor, which is fine. It's very convenient to make changes quickly and see the changes. But a lot of people, when they're starting a game, they do that for a long time. And then they actually want to get the game out to some friends or testers, and they try to build it and they run into problems. So I highly recommend starting from the very beginning, doing a complete build cycle, even when you've got nothing other than a stock level like this. Build it and get it running and make sure there are no problems. I ran into a couple of problems building it here, but I was able to resolve them. And now I feel much better because even though I'm not going to distribute this build, at least I know it's working. And here is the game build running. However, there is one problem. Even though the game is building and running and that character can run around on that little level, there is a problem. The problem is that I have no way to quit the game. And that's something I may not have noticed if I didn't do a full build. Because in the editor, you can just hit the escape key and you exit the game. But once you've actually made an executable, the game itself needs to provide a way for the player to quit it. And of course, that doesn't exist yet. And there's nothing built in to Unreal to provide that functionality. So that will be the next step. In the next video, I will add a main menu and a pause menu so that the player can quit the game. So I invite you to join me on my journey to make this game. Please subscribe and follow me on social media and watch this come together.